Welcome to my 13-day Halloween countdown. Day 4.
Good evening, folks. Here we are, and it's Thursday evening, and it's 10 to 7. Anyway, this is day 4 of my Halloween countdown. We've got day 4 on the Halloween countdown calendar coming up, and also a bit of a talk today about something that's been exaggerated today. Well, not exaggerated. No, I don't mean exaggerated. Sorry. I mean it's been brought more to my attention today, and I've also done a poem about it as well, which I'll read out. So yeah, quite a bit to fit in today. So I'll start off right now with today's Advent. I keep calling it an Advent calendar. It's not Advent, that's Christmas. I must be preempting myself because I've got a couple of them for you coming up in December. But this is my Halloween 13-day countdown calendar, day 4. So here we go. There we go. Calendar, 13-day spooky countdown calendar. Take that off. Put it down on the side there. Open my doors. And there we have door 4, which is here. Hang on. There you go, door 4. Not always easy to open, actually. Orange bag. Put that to one side. Done well so far. I got 2. I didn't get the second one. So far, let me get this right now. We've had Freddy Krueger, Lydia from Beetlejuice. Sorry, Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, Lydia from Beetlejuice, and Jack Torrance from The Shining. This is number 4. There we have it. There we have it. Let's see the people so I don't cut the character's feet off. Open bag. And inside we have very, very cool. If you don't know this one, then you don't know horror at all. If I hold it like that. It's a mini Pennywise out of Stephen King's It. And just let me turn the brightness down again a bit. I think I might have it a bit too bright for you. Just bear me 1 second. There you go. Good. No, it's still bright, isn't it? Try and get it so it's bright. There you go. You can see him better now. Pennywise the clown, complete with evil grin, I may add. And he's actually got in his hand, I don't actually know. Oh, he's got something. Ooh, yeah. It's rough anyway, but it's Pennywise out of It. And that is day 4 of the Halloween countdown calendar. Pictures to follow. Sorry, pictures to follow. Well, yesterday I talked about how I thought society was gone rotten and how I thought that we were very suspicious of each other, etc. Now, today I want to take that a little bit further, and what I want to deal with today is hypocrisy and the hypocrisy of people who say that they want to do the right thing and we believe them, so we put them in power and then they basically lie about every single thing they've ever promised and go back on the words, etc. Now, in case you're wondering where I'm going with this morning when I got up, the first news story was about the free school meals for children and how Parliament had voted against extending it. And I thought, well, fair enough, I can understand if certain areas like, down in the rich areas where they don't give a toss about people who haven't got any money anyway, so maybe that's who voted against it. But to find out that it was actually our local MPs who voted against it, and the only one who didn't vote against it didn't vote at all, rather than saying, no, I'm not agreeing with this, he didn't vote at all. So basically it got passed through that these school meals won't be extended. Now, if you're like me I'm in my 40s now, well, nearly 50 actually, but I'm late 40s now. And when I was brought up in an area called Braidley, and it was a lovely area, as in lovely people. But nobody had any money. It wasn't a place where, you had millionaires row or anything like that. These were all terraced houses with terraced house families. We were all, all good friends, etc. Everybody knew everybody. It was brilliant. But nobody had any money. And when we were brought up, obviously, sometimes my dad was in work and sometimes my dad wasn't. And we had free school meals. Now, I used to love free school dinners. People go on about them, how horrible they are, blah, blah, blah. But I never thought they were. I used to love school dinners. I used to love free school dinners. Now, one of the things about that was because we all had free school dinners, most of the people there anyway, nobody thought anything of it. And I thought that was something that would always be there for kids, because at the end of the day, it is important for the next generation coming up, the young ones especially, to have food. Now, the hypocrisy, what I'm on about, is the fact that we live in a country where we can send millions of pounds abroad to help people who are starving, famine-hit countries, right? But at the same time, we cannot even feed our own people. And this is where the hypocrisy comes in. We are basically saying to the world, we are a wonderful country who will help you out at every turn, every roll of the dice. We will be there. We will help you with for famine relief and food and anything and shelter and whatever. But we won't look after his own people because we prefer to look better in the eyes of the world than we do to look better to our own people. Because our own people are here. So why keep them happy? Why keep us happy? We can't go anywhere. What are we going to do? Emigrate? All of a sudden emigrate from the UK? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And even when people come over here from other countries, I'm not naming any particular countries, from other countries, they get treated better than the citizens of this country. They come over here and they get houses. They get all the benefits paid for. They even get money that's that much that they send some of it abroad to their families who are still in another country. And we allow it to happen. So all the people out there who are working in this country are taxpayers and Joe Public, because don't forget, people seem to think that the only people who contribute to society are taxpayers, right? But when we used to go downtown shopping, I pay bus fare. My wife paid bus fare. I've got a bus pass, fair enough. My wife paid bus fare, right? So I am already paying towards the transport costs. The transport obviously pay taxes for government, etc., etc. I am going and shopping in supermarkets who pay a certain amount to the government. So basically, I am also helping with the running of this country. Not as much as workers, fair enough, I can understand that, but I'm still helping. But we seem to think that because we can earn all this money, we can just pass it on to somebody else in another country and it doesn't matter. Because by the time you've earned it, by the time it's come out your wages, and by the time it's suddenly gone through tax and blah, 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 and then all of a sudden there's this big chunk of money left and the government says, I know what we'll do with that. We've got so much money. We'll give so much to the councils, a pittance, but what we'll do, we'll always make sure we look good in the eyes of the world. So we'll send umpteen billion foreign aid. And it really, really makes me cringe because I can understand a country helping when they have got a country that doesn't need help itself, right? If we got a country where everybody was homed, nobody was homeless, everybody was fed, nobody was hungry or poverty, nothing like that, then I could understand us giving money away to foreign countries. But when was the last time you heard of an appeal to raise money for the England, for UK? England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. When was the last time you heard of any charity appeal where they said, please give money to the starving and the ones in poverty in the UK? They don't do it, do they? Because they assumed we're this sort of rich, powerful country where everybody's fed, everybody's clothed, everybody's got a house. And it isn't like that. People look at our country like it's rose-coloured glasses, like it's the most amazing place in the world. And yet I will say one thing, our country treats its own inhabitants shockingly. Shockingly, mate. Ignore that's my phone again telling me about my medication. I meant to turn this off earlier on, actually, and I forgot all about it, so I really do apologise again. This will not happen again. I'll make sure I turn it off tomorrow night. But just mull on that for a second. Mull on that. And you tell me where the logic is in that. Why that is not hypocritical. We are basically saying to the world, look, we are willing to help your people eat if they can't eat. But we will not extend the school meals in this country so that the children can eat. I can't understand the rationality of it. I don't know how it comes about that people can do that. And as for politicians, I don't know how they can sleep at night. I really don't. I don't know how they can sleep at night. They can turn around and accept a £3,000 pay rise per MP, right? While at the same time knowing that the children in some of these places where they can't afford food or where they're on the poverty line are going to be struggling to even get a meal. So I don't understand that. And that's why I wrote this poem. I've written a poem which I'll read out at the end of this, actually. And it's basically saying, I've decided the job for me is a politician. Definitely. Definitely. Because you get everything. And basically you have to do bugger all. You have to do sod all. You just have to sit there and vote every so often and try and keep the party that you're with happy. Because obviously you don't want to go against the government. You don't want to go against the government. The government are the ones who pay your salary. That's where all the money is. In politics. So while they're bleating about, oh, no, we need to make sure of this, we need to make sure of that, as long as they've got cash in their pockets, as long as they've got villas in the south of France and the Portugal and God knows where else, they don't give a flying toss about anybody else. There's a saying that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. In this country, it is bang on 100%. Because over the years, I've watched it happen. And I watched it from Thatcher's governments all the way up to the present government. And nobody has looked out for the people who cannot sort themselves, if you know what I'm saying. The ones who... Right, let me put it another way. Imagine now, right, the war, when we had the war with Germany, we had lost. Right? Now, I know for a fact I wouldn't be here because I've got a disability, so I'd have been terminated before I even drew a breath if they could have, found out before I was born. But they wanted to produce a master race. And I can guarantee that master race, every single one of them would have been treated equally. There wouldn't have been a richer and a poor. They'd have all been one. Now, you look at our government, and our government seems to go, well, hang on a minute, right. The rich people are happy. They're paying thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of tax. But what we'll do is we'll reduce that tax so they haven't got to pay as much, so that we can make sure millionaires live in this country and keep this country going. Because a lot of these people, especially the dead rich ones, they pay into these political parties. They do donations to these political parties. Whereas obviously people like me, Joe Public, on the street, walking around just doing your shopping in Tesco and that, we can't afford to. We can't afford to support political parties. We've got enough to support ourselves. I am a firm believer, right, that you should look after your own first. And that's not selfish. That's me looking out for my country. And if people say, it's far right and talking and all this kind of crap, it's not. I don't agree with Nazism. I don't agree with the far right. I think they're a bunch of idiots. But what I do agree with is, why would you put your country to ruin, but support other countries and make sure they are prospering all right? Why would you do that? Why would you want your own country to fail? I can't understand that. If you're in charge of a country, surely the most important thing is to keep the people happy. All the people happy. Okay, you can't every single one. You go and have a couple of gripes. But you should not divide them between who has money and who hasn't. That shouldn't be a dividing line. Now, those who contribute and those who don't, that's all they do. Two categories, those who contribute, those who don't. Those who work, those who don't. What they don't do is they don't take those who don't and split up into groups. those who can't and those who won't. There's a difference. If you can't work because you've got a medical condition that stops you from doing work, why should you be put in the same category as somebody who won't work because they don't want to? Yeah? I saw a post earlier on today where a lad was standing there and he said, if I have to work to live, is that really a choice? Is it better not to work and then I am free? And I thought, what the hell? So you're telling me that for the sake of your freedom, you won't work? So where's your money coming from? If you think you were going to, what you're saying is it is better to live on benefits and not go to work because I don't want to, it's against my beliefs or my principles, then I'm sorry, but you're a bigger hypocrite than anybody. You know, I mean, I used to work years and years and years ago. I was a computer operator. And I wasn't too bad at my job. I love computers. I love everything about computers. Always have done, always will. And fate came along and dealt me a massive blow because it diagnosed me with a condition. And when it diagnosed me with this condition, suddenly I got sacked. I got told I wasn't capable of doing the job. And I'd almost been there 2 years. I was 1 day short of 2 years, and then they would have had to pay me redundancy. So they got rid of me 1 day before I'd been there 2 years. And they basically didn't even say, I'm sorry, we're making you redundant. They said, we're sacking you because your work's not up to it. And I was absolutely amazed. I was devastated. The people in my firm were going to do a walkout for me because they knew exactly how hard I worked. And I told them, no, it wasn't worth other people losing the job because of me. You know, I got diagnosed with this condition. And then all of a sudden, this was a crazy thing. After about 6 months, because I had a really bad injury, and I was very, very ill. And I went back to the social and I said, look, I want to work. And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, I want a job. And he said, but you're on the disability. I said, I know. And he said, well, okay, what we'll do, we'll send you for some training at this place and we'll let you go there for 2 weeks. You've got to do all this training, all this computer stuff and everything and secretarial, blah, blah, blah. And we'll see how you go from there. Anyway, I'd been there about 4 days and the instructor turned to me and he said, I don't know what you're doing here. He said, we can't teach you anything you don't know. You have literally blitzed through 2 weeks worth of work in 4 days. You know your stuff sort of thing. Go back and tell them you're ready to work. I went back. I said, right. I said, I've been to that place. I've done the tests and everything. They say I'm ready to work. They turned around and they said, well, that's okay, but because of the nature of your condition, now I got told this, even though people have said, oh no, you shouldn't have been told that, but I was told that I would only be able to be employed for 8 hours a week maximum, and that I would be better off going home and living on benefits. Right? Now bear in mind, I'd wanted a job. I was bored out of my tree at this point, and I was nowhere near as bad physically as I am now. But at the ripe old age of 23, they decided that I wasn't fit for work. And yet I hardly had anything wrong with me. And I kept saying to them, but I'm all right, I'm absolutely fine. No, nobody will employ you because of this CMT thing. Well, it was called hereditary motor sensory neuropathy back then. And they said, no, nobody will employ you. No chance. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? You're telling me that you, just because I've got a condition you know sod all about, you are willing to put me on the scrap heap at 23? And I got into a really, really bad depression because of this. I got really low and I was really feeling worthless. You know, my opinion of myself was so low, it was ridiculous. I didn't regard myself as anything. I used to hate myself, actually. And I needed somebody to blame for this condition, so I was always blaming my mum for it, etc., etc. I was horrible, I really was. But looking back, I can understand why I was like that, because at 23, to be told, basically, you are scrap-heaped on the bike, was a massive blow to me. And for a couple of 3 years, I was wallowing a bit. Yeah, I didn't like it. I was very angry. At first, don't get me wrong, first 6 months, I thought it was like a massive holiday. I loved it. You know, I could get up when I wanted, go to bed when I wanted, do what I wanted. But then after 6 months, you start thinking, I can't live like this for the rest of my life. I can't live doing nothing for the rest of my life. And so, you know, I decided, right, that was it. I was going to start doing a little bit of earning money. And what it was me and a friend of mine, they started up a little business where we basically did up old computers, put some software on them and sold them to students and stuff. And we did this. You know, we did this. And it went on for about a year and a half or something like that. Now, we didn't make a lot of money off it. It wasn't like we were, oh God, we're suddenly the next Rockefellers. We were lucky if we made an extra 40 quid a month. But it was still money. And I still felt like I was contributing. You know, and now I write and I vlog. I'm an author, a poet, and a vlog, and I do surveys, So I feel like, in a way, I am contributing because I'm helping to form opinions about products, etc., etc. But I know for a fact that my life wouldn't have been even here if we hadn't have won the war, like I said before. So why we have to treat our citizens so badly when we fought to basically save our country, save our way of life, is beyond me. It's beyond me. I don't understand it. It's something I will never ever get my head around. Because if you can treat your own people as badly as our government treats us, not everybody, just a massive percentage of those that don't seem to contribute, if you like. That's what the government would say anyway. It's like, oh, well, if you work, you're entitled to anything, but if you don't work, you're entitled to nothing. But they will not separate the fact that some people can't work and some people won't work. Some people cannot get a job. And yet you try and get disability benefits in this country. I had to fight tooth and nail. I had to go to a tribunal and I had to have a letter. I decided, right, I'll just explain. I decided that because I got turned down for my PIP, 4 years, bear in mind I've been having DLA since 1997. So I've been having it for 23 years, right? And in that time, my condition has gone downhill fast. It really has gone downhill. In 23 years, I've gone from somebody who could walk miles, who could do sports, who could play snooker, darts, anything, it wouldn't have made a difference, to somebody now who, even if I bend down, pick something off the floor, I am in absolute agony. You won't see me on these videos doing anything energetic or nothing like that. Not because I won't, because I can't. It's as simple as that, So if you look at me, how I live my life, and you think to yourself, well, you don't look too bad. I know I don't look too bad. It's not a condition that shows in my face. It shows in these. It shows in my hands. It shows in my hands and my feet and my extremities, my legs. I even have problems with my stomach and my back because of it. So, it is a proper condition. But why we have to do this, I do not know. I don't understand. If somebody can explain why government would want to treat people in another country better than people in their own country, it just doesn't ring any bells to me. I mean, fair enough, you want to look good to the world, but wouldn't it be better to look good to your people in your country as well first? Anyway, I've had a rant, I've had a rave, and I'm going to give you a poem now, which I wrote today after reading about the debacle to do with school meals. And I'll read it to you in a minute. Bye for now. Now the screen's going to go a bit bright while I open the document because I've got many things that I'm good at and one of them is not memorising poetry. So I'm going to make the screen go bright now and I'll read this poem to you. It's called I Have Decided. I am going to be an MP. I've practised on my lying. I've sat in a corner snoring. I can say yay and nay without trying. I want to get paid for nothing. Have the power to make people fear me. I want to talk garbage all day, pretending people want to hear me. I'm going to be a Prime Minister. I can lie through my teeth at will. I can talk about helping people, sit back and watch my pockets fill. I can sit like a king on his throne, watching people, all of them beneath me, see the poor working classes work off their asses while I go on holiday for free. I've decided that this is the way, the only way I can succeed. One rule for me, one for the rest, never worrying how I will feed. Everything paid so I won't have to worry. As soon as I'm in power I can stop lying. I can then tell the truth when time shows the proof. I can hide away then and stop trying. I have decided. And that is a poem called I Have Decided, and I wrote it today because I think politicians are the biggest hypocrites on the planet. And on that note, I'm going to leave my vlog at almost 20 minutes and I shall do another vlog tomorrow. We're on day 5. Remember what day 4 was? It was good old... Eerie. No, back again. There you go. Eerie Pennywise. Look at that. Looks a bit rough actually. Look at them from the back. Look at that for an haircut. Wee. So it's Pennywise the clown from it. do another vlog tomorrow. You all take care. See you soon.